This is a quick reflection for my standard 3 professional relationships. The competency is maintain a family, whānau, centred approach throughout all aspects of assessment, planning and intervention. As part of my Prof Prac plan, I wanted to follow Learner A for their first referral and observe the practices that help parents feel involved in their child's IP. By doing this, I think it will allow me to work more effectively with other parents and other agencies at other times. I think also it will give me a great introduction into meeting the other agencies that will be involved in Learner A and in the future other exceptional children. I attended the meeting. I went along as an observer and I took a few notes of what I found had a real impact on the mother, and the first thing I really noticed was that the social worker allowed the mother plenty of time to talk. There was no rush. She maintained eye contact, listened really well, and I knew that she was listening well by she repeated certain phrases that the mother had said, and there was lots of reassuring nods and agreeances, and then it was sort of like 15-20 minutes of the mother discussing her child, and then I think it made the mother quite relaxed, and while the mother was talking, the social worker was writing down a few notes, but not continuously. She was, like I said, maintaining eye contact and that really great ability of listening. Then after the mother had a fair amount of time to speak about her son, the social worker did an explanation of what LSS does, and the sorts of assessment they'll be using for this boy, what the social worker does, her role. She mentioned confidentiality, which I thought was really important, and also offering that if the parent decides to decline the support, that is an option as well, and if they require any info from other agencies, and I think she gave the example of SIFS or Tamariki Oranga, Oranga Tamariki, and that they would be contacting the parents first to gain their permission to get their information. And they also said that if they were sharing information about Learner A, that they would also gain permission from the parents, which I think was really reassuring, that information will not just be shared without that parent knowing or parents knowing. So yeah, I think it's a really nice way to give the mother an overall view of what LSS does and how it works. So then the meeting sort of moved into specific concerns that the mother had for her son, and it was really great how the social worker really pinned down a really specific concern. It was like, I think the mother said something about she was concerned about the way he engaged with other children, and the social worker got her to pin it right down to actually the way he instigates into groups, the words he may use or the actions he may take, which gave the social worker a real something concrete to work with. And I did notice too that in this part of the conversation, the social worker was offering explanations of the concerns. If the mother had said a concern and then the social worker say yes, that would be because of, and boys, she talked about a frontal cortex, that the boys don't have that ability to think like girls do. So there's quite a bit of scientific and in-depth knowledge being shared during this part of the conversation. It was really reassuring, I felt, for that mum, and also offering strategies to for that mother for other areas of concern that she had. They used what they call the 54-month assessment for the for developmental ability or stages, and he did really well. So the social worker said that's not something that needs to be looked at. So it's quite good how they, through the meeting, the social worker was already ironing out areas that weren't going to be a concern. So she was really getting down to a specific point that she wanted to come and observe Learner A about. Overall, I thought the meeting was very relaxed. It was very positive. It was very informative. And after I got back to the kindergarten, the mother came into the office and said to me, how did you think that went? She said, I feel really good about it. And I said, yeah, it was a really positive meeting. So she felt really positive and she felt really listened to, I think, which I think made her feel positive about the meeting. Just sort of reflecting about in regard to being a Māori whānau, what might have gone a little bit differently. I think maybe that would have been that the social worker probably would have been visiting our kindergarten more to get to know the family and the child better. At this point of time, this was the first time the social worker and the mother had met. So if that was the case for a Māori family, I think maybe there should have been a bit more meeting, understanding each other, visiting the kindergarten more, and I suppose taking something to eat for the meeting. Just a couple of things I was thinking about as I'm doing this reflection. And I think for a Māori whānau, there might have been maybe more support people with the mother and maybe another support person with the social worker. Overall, in general, I thought it was a really positive meeting. It was just a reflection about the Māori whānau, how they would feel if it was like a social worker and the mother, and that was all. But apart from that, I really enjoyed the meeting, and I look forward to the next stage of the process, which will be approximately 2 weeks, where the social worker will come in and do some observations. So hopefully that will be added to my standard for professional relationships, and I'll be able to reflect on those. Okay.